just block the street off then.
At this time, I'd like to call the Monday, December 14th, 2015 Planning Commission meeting to order. The first thing on the agenda is roll call. Pidd, here. Price?
Here.
Hema?
Here.
Charlene? Or Charnel?
Here.
Schoblum?
Here.
That brings us to the next item, which is the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Price and a second by Mr. Hema. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Brings us to number 4, which is the approval of the minutes from the November 9th, 2015 Planning Commission meeting.
Move to approve.
I've got a motion by Charnel and a second by Mr. Price. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to public input. Citizens may speak to issues not on the agenda. Before speaking, give your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Everybody here is for something that's already on here. Perfect. That brings us to the public hearing. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing for the conditional use permit, MN Woodcraft project.
Thank you. Since everyone's familiar with the application, I'll just make the presentation from my desk here. This is a conditional use permit request from Andy Hines. Andy is here this evening, wishes to establish a woodworking operation out of the property for which the hearing is being conducted this evening. That's in our highway business B2 commercial zone. And while many commercial and retail and office and contractor type uses are permitted by conditional use permit within that district, not everything is allowed without this particular permit and the public hearing. So a conditional use permit is required to establish the use that's being proposed here. Within the packet, I've included an aerial photograph of the location that we're considering tonight. I think you're all familiar with that. And along with that, and more importantly, is Andy's application. And as David and I were commenting before the meeting, this is a outstanding application in terms of its format and structure and answering the questions as per the ordinance. To compliment Andy on that. It's not often we get quite as complete a request as this is. So I think the project as it's described is very well laid out. I think it answers the questions that typically we would be looking to be answered for a request of this type. I don't see anything in here that hasn't been covered. We will have some details if the application goes forward through the commission and the council to give a little bit more detail on plans for landscaping and signage and that type of thing, but that's normal. So with that, maybe I'll stop and turn it over to Andy if he'd like to add any comments or if you've got some questions for him. I think, again, the 3 people in the audience are all here for this application tonight. Any questions of me?
I don't think so.
Is there anything you'd like to add, Andy, in terms of just the business or your plans? If you do, you'd need to step up to the mic.
Not necessarily. I was just wondering, you said you'd like some more information on signage and landscaping. What in particular are you looking for?
Specific on that, Andy, is as you move forward into the spring, if this application is approved, a little bit more specificity in terms of what you're proposing to do for landscaping, and that if you are going to have signage, we should just work through that too as part of this permit application.
Okay.
So
Well,
nothing to worry about. It's just something we need to work through.
Sure. Okay. Well, at this point, I guess everything's up in the air until we can, lock down the building purchase. After that point, then we'll move forward with the landscaping and things like that. So it's just a suggestion on my part that that's something that will be happening in the future.
Right. And that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other questions regarding the business? Pardon me?
Did you say you're going to buy
We are, yes, it's conditional on this permit,
Oh, it's conditional at this point?
yes.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
No, it was pretty well laid out, I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, it was good.
I'll take
Leave
feedback.
leave room for questions.
Everything's good.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to say while the public hearing is open? All right, hearing no discussion, I'll close the public hearing at this time. And that brings us to discussion item resolution 2015-13, conditional use permit, MN Woodcraft project.
I don't have much to add. It seems to be a good deal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Get something going on something that's just been sitting there
Yep.
collecting junk cars. I think our sign ordinance and a few of the other things that addresses everything else, there's not much that can go wrong.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't see why we should slow them down any.
Nope.
I think I heard Mr. Price make a motion to accept resolution 2015-13.
I'll second that.
And I've got a second by Ms. Charnel. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to number 8, which is Planning Commission member comments.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Got a Merry Christmas. I'll second that.
Yeah,
Anything else?
I don't have anything.
All right, that brings us to number 9, which is adjourn.
Second.
I've got a motion by Mr. Price and a second by Mr. Schoblom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It's in the record book.